Hey guys, so this is Anthony with Spammed. I was in my spam box today and I saw two emails from this person, and I wanted to first jump into their first one, and I'll make a second video for their follow up, which was pretty rookie stuff. It seemed like a normal sales spam email, but what struck me is this isn't necessarily a vendor. This is from a recruiting service or headhunting service, and they're not just pushing a product or a service, they're pushing somebody. They're pushing somebody's profile. And if I were represented by this guy James or his company, which for their sake I blocked out, um, it really just jumps out at me the number of just it smells of template, and I hate to say that, but it really just smells of template. And if I were looking to make a career change or looking for a new opportunity, and I knew that somebody representing me sent this out, I wouldn't work with them anymore, honest to God. So before I rant and rave all day, let's go ahead and jump in. Anthony, I've been sandwiched in meetings all day, but I had a few minutes, so I wanted to reach out. Wow, that's really generous of you. I'm glad that you're so busy with your meetings that you took the time out to send me this template email. It doesn't tell me what matters to me. It makes James look more important and busy than anything, and I I personally don't want to be a number. I'm not one of 1,000. I'm not one of 1,000,000. I am me. I am a great individual, and maybe I am looking for talent, but I want James to make me my priority, not his option. And so telling me about your busy day, it's not impressing me. Sorry, James. My name is James. Nice to meet you, and I work at Blank. We have a fantastic Salesforce candidate looking for their next role. This is probably my biggest pet peeve of this entire article here is James is saying we have a fantastic sales candidate, force candidate, looking for the next role. That's wonderful, James. When did I ever tell you that I wanted one? I didn't. And James is basing it off of that assumption that some reason I want to not just work with him and take time and do this in my day, which I don't, but he's making an assumption that I need a Salesforce candidate. Doesn't tell me what is their role. What are the role are they seeking? It's just we have somebody who's worked with Salesforce. Do you want that? It's like going into a grocery store and they're like, "We have food. Do you want food? We have food. Here, let's get some food." This isn't how you impress somebody, especially if you're offering a candidate. So I'm trying my best to help out this candidate out, and I have attached the summary below. Blank, his company, also has many other candidates if this one does not fit your needs. Again, this is the grocery store with food. They're just trying to, or they're asking if I'm hungry, which maybe. Do you know how hungry I am? Do you know if I'm vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan, uh, kosher diet? You don't know anything about me. Let's continue. I would love to set up some time to discuss this candidate or any other hiring needs you may have. He's assuming that I have this. He's assuming that I want this. And it's just, this isn't selling. This is order taking, not order making. This is the fast food equivalent of recruiting. It's really bad. And looking at this guy, 11 years of development experience, worked in all stages, used lighting out. Even even though this individual looks like a very impressive person, to me personally, this is word salad. I don't know who this candidate is. I don't know anything about them. I'm just seeing what they what their job description was. What this is what a normal Salesforce admin goes through. Is this. This isn't telling me they came in under budget. This isn't telling me they came in under schedule, ahead of schedule. This is just literally, I guarantee you, this individual has a stack of Salesforce candidates that he works with, and all of this, with the exception of Anthony, is templated, and then he just copy pastes their summary based on the notes he took during their initial conversation. This wouldn't work with SaaS. This wouldn't work with a product or any other type of sale, and it definitely doesn't work with recruiting. Honestly, this kind of, I feel more bad for the candidate than I do for James in this situation, because this candidate is putting their career in the hands of James. And this is their first impression. They're putting their reputation in James's hands, and James is setting it just down the garbage disposal. So, James, if you're watching, listening, reading this, I really think you need to work on this. You need to personalize this. You need to take your candidates seriously. And I guarantee you're probably sending out 1,000 of these and maybe getting less than a 1% response rate. This ended up in my spam box, as did your reply, which we'll get into. But first and foremost, what I would say on this is, if I were writing this, reaching out to James in this case, I'd say, hey James, I bet you I'm not the first recruiter to reach out to you, and I apologize about invading your inbox. But I do work with a lot of companies like yours, and if it's one thing that I hear is that there's a big issue in terms of finding top tier talent. You don't have the time. You got other things you want to do. I'd love to be able to help you a bit with that. Do you have 15 minutes of time? I'd love to have a conversation about what your company is looking for, where you are, and you're an ideal candidate for the roles that you're seeking. What would be the best fit for you? What types of achievements would you look for in these candidates? I have a bunch of candidates, but I don't want to waste your time and give you a candidate that you won't like. James, do you have time tomorrow at 2 p.m.? Thanks. Keep it simple, keep it digestible, have it in a way that they can read on their phone, and don't assume anything. You're there to solve a problem, not offer a solution. Now, I won't show James's response because I did not have the time to edit it yet. So it would have personal and confidential information in there, especially about his company. But he gave me the most boilerplate, probably not templated, maybe he wrote it himself, but I've seen it so many times where people say, hey, did you get my last email? Did you get to read my email? And maybe I did, but now you're making me go back and look for your email. And if I didn't reply, it wasn't that good of an email. Honest to God. You won't get 100% reply rate. You maybe will get some great emails, 50-60% open rate. Not everybody is your ideal candidate. But asking me if I got it, if I read it, isn't going to make me reply. And it's definitely not going to make me reply in a positive manner. I've definitely had some people who replied negatively to that. Asking them, did you get my message? It doesn't work. Change your attitude, change your tactics, re-engage. And James, my number is actually pretty well published. I'm pretty active on social media. If you actually did your homework, you probably could have had a conversation with me already. So my take on this, especially recruiters out there, you are more than salespeople. You're an advocate, and you need to take this more seriously than a sales rep. If one of my sales reps sent this out to a client, I would tell them this is getting immediately spammed. And it did. So thank you guys for taking the time to sit through this and listen to me ranting about James's email. Don't do what James did. Definitely make it about them. Deliver value to them in your initial foray into this. When you initially reach out to people, just make it about them. Try to have a conversation and get to know them. Nobody really wants to be sold to, but everybody loves to buy. Thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of the spam.